Hi friends, my name is Aqil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial we will see how to wait for the file to be available, and once the file is available then load the data into a SQL Server table using SSIS. So recently I got a question from one of my subscriber, and he asked I got a task to complete. Data is receiving from client and receiving it using FTP CSV format. So for example, the data file size is 10 MB, and I have scheduled that every night at 1:30 AM to run the SSIS package automatically. Now if data from the client side is started to receive at 1:25 AM and it take 10 minutes to complete, but I scheduled the package at 1:30 AM to run the SSIS package, so my SSIS package will detect the source file and the SSIS package will start to execute. Now only 50% data will be loaded to SQL Server and remaining 50% of the data not yet completed by the client side. So at this moment, how to make SSIS package wait until 100% of the data from client side is complete. Okay, so this was a good scenario to make a video on. So what we will do, we will actually start the package at any time, like maybe we can start the package at 1:25 AM, and then what we will do, we will get the size from the CSV file. Then we will wait for some time, maybe we can wait for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or maybe for a minute, and after 1 minute we will again check the size from the CSV file. So if the size will be changed, it means that data is being modified. Then we will wait for another 1 minute, and after 1 minute we will again check the size of the file. So if the size of the file is changing, it means that the file is being modified, and if the file is being modified, then we won't start reading the data from the file. So maybe we can wait for 1 hour, or maybe we can wait for 2 hours or 3 hours. It's up to you, like how much time you want your SSIS package to be wait until the file has been modified successfully. And after 1 minute we will again check that if the last size of the file and the current size of the file, they are same, it means that it is not changing. So if the file size is not changing, so it means that client has finished writing the data to the file, and now we are good to read the data from the CSV file. So let's see how we can do that using SSIS. So let's jump to the demo. So in the D files location, I got a file sellers.csv, and if I show you this particular file, so it contains person's first name, last name, email, gender, and the country column. So this contains, I think, 1008 lines it contains. Okay, so this particular data should be inserted to a SQL Server table into a test database on my SQL Server 2019 instance. And in case if the file is being modified, then we should wait until the file is finished modifying. Okay, so let me close this particular file. So I have already written a code which can actually check if the file is being modified or it got finished modifying. Okay, so I can just briefly tell you what we are doing in this particular code. So this is a C# console app, but I will move this particular code into a script task in the SSIS package, and I will write the remaining code as well. I will write the full SSIS package, like how we can achieve this particular thing. So if I show you like what we are doing here, so in the beginning, in the main function, we have declared two variables, and these two variables are related to the logging. So in case if the process will fail, then it will create an error log underscore current date time.log file at the D files logs location. In case if you want to create the file at different location, then you can provide the location here. Okay, so now in the try block, we have declared a local variable status here. So we will insert the data, like if the file is available, it finished reading, or it is not finished reading, like this. And then this is the file path local variable. So this is the file that we will check if it is being modified or it is finished modifying. Okay, now what we will do, in the beginning we will get the initial size of the file into a local variable initial size. Okay, so we will use this method, that file info.length, so it will get the file size into the local variable. Now here our SSIS package will wait for 60 minutes, it will wait for 1 hour. Okay, so if you want your package to be wait for maybe 2 hour or 3 hour, then you can just provide the details here. This time is in seconds, 3600 seconds. So for example, if you want your package to be wait for 2 hours, then you can write like 2 into 3600, so it will wait for 2 hours. Okay, and then what we will do, we have declared a local variable int wait time here, so it's a counter that will start from the 0, and then we will run a while loop here, that our while loop run till a particular condition is set to false. And now what we will do, our process will wait for 15 seconds. So we got the file size here, and then we will put a wait for 15 seconds. So after 15 seconds we will again check the size of the file. I have put the 15 seconds so that I can just show you like if the file size is changing or not. I have given a small duration. But ideally in the SSIS package you should put a higher value here, like instead of waiting for the 15 second, maybe you can put like 60 second or maybe 120 seconds. So it's up to you, like how much you want to wait and check. But because I just want to show you like how you can do that, and I just want to show you in the video, so I have put a small duration 15 second, but you can put maybe 1 minute here. Okay, and here we are increasing the wait time to wait time plus 1. And yeah, there is one thing, that because we are waiting for 15 seconds, then we should divide this value with the 15, okay, so that it can wait for the 60 minutes as of now. Okay, and if you want to increase the time, then you can just multiply the time here. If you want maybe wait for 2 hours, then you can just give the time in the seconds here. Okay, and now after waiting for the 15 second, we are again checking the size of the file. Okay, and if the current size and the initial size, if they are same, it means that file is not changed. Okay, so I have set the status as file is complete. Okay, and then we will come out of this loop. And if this is not the case, if the file is still changing, then we will set the initial size of the file with the current size. Okay, and then we will check this condition if the wait time is greater than max wait time. So if this will be the condition, then the status will be like file is incomplete. Okay, and it will come out of this particular loop, because it will wait until a particular time is done. Okay, so as of now it will wait for 60 minutes. So I think this code is fine, and we can use this code inside the SSIS package. Okay, so let me just show you like executing this code, and if I will be modifying the file, then it will wait for 1 hour, and every 15 seconds it will check if the file size is changed or not changed. And in case if the file size won't change, it means that we have done modifying the file, and it will come out of this particular loop. Okay, otherwise it will wait until the 60 minutes. Okay, so I can click on start button here, and I can just show you like how it will work. So I can just click step over. Okay, so for this particular file, the initial size is 67220. Okay, and then we will wait for 15 seconds. And now what will happen, that for example if I modify the file here, so it is waiting for 15 seconds, but suppose I added 2 more lines here. Okay, so now what will happen, that after 15 seconds the size will be changed. Okay, so now the size will be changed, so it will set the initial size with the new size, and then it will continue waiting for another 15 seconds. Okay, so now again it is waiting for 15 seconds, and suppose if I add few more lines into this particular file, then the size of the file will be changed again. And until unless we are changing the size of the file, it will continue waiting. Okay, so now it will check the size again, and the size will change again, so it will continue waiting until we are finished modifying the file. Okay, so this time we won't modify the file, it will find the size as same as the last time, and then it will come out of the loop, and it will say that the file is complete. So this is how it will work. So yeah, so this time the size of the file will be same, so it will come inside this particular condition, and the status will be like file is complete, and it will come out of this particular loop. So this is how it will work. So now what we can do, we can create a new SSIS package here. So let me open the Visual Studio, create a new project, integration services project. Next, I can select the location here, I can give the project name, click create. So this will create the SSIS package for me. So the blank SSIS package has been created, and I can declare maybe 3 variables here. The first variable will be file path, and I can set the data type to string, and I can give the initial value to this particular variable, sellers.csv. Okay, I can declare another variable status, and the data type will be string here. Okay, maybe I can leave it as blank for now. And then third variable is records inserted, like how many records got inserted by the file, and the data type will be integer. So I have declared 3 variables here. And now because we want to check for a file in a folder, so we will be using a for each loop container here. So I can just drag and drop the for each loop container here, and I can configure the for each loop container. From the collection, I will select the for each file enumerator, and in the folder path I can just select the D files location, because at this particular location my CSV file is situated, and the file type will be CSV here. And in the variable mapping, I will select the file path here, so that the file path will be assigned to the file path SSIS variable. And now I can click on OK. Now in the for each loop container, what we will do, we will just insert the script task into the for each loop container, because in the script task we will write the code from the C# console app. Now I can right click and configure the script task. So in the read only variable we will use the file path here, okay, because we want to get the value from the file path, okay, and we want to pass the value to the script task. And in the read write variable we will set the value to the status variable, and I can click on OK. Now I can click on edit script so that it can open the script editor for me. Alright, so the script editor window has been opened up. So what I can do, I can copy this particular code from here till this particular line, and I can paste it inside the main function. So it is missing some namespaces, probably system.io, so I can click on show potential fixes using system.io, and I can close this one. Yeah, so that was the only namespace, so this is working fine. Now here, instead of this particular hard-coded value file path, I will use the variable dts.variables file path dot value dot toString. Okay, so this is how we can get the value from the SSIS variable. And now we need to assign the value to the status local variable here. So instead of the local variable status, we will set the value to the status SSIS variable. Okay, so I can copy this one and I can paste it here as well. So now the value is file is complete, file is incomplete. So maybe what I can do, I can simply copy these values like file is complete to this particular location, because this is case sensitive and we need to put a condition in the SSIS package for this one. Okay, so now what I can do, I can click on file, exit, and I can click on OK, so that it will save the code inside the script task. So once this task is done, we will get a value in the status SSIS variable that whether file is complete or file is incomplete. Okay, so in case if the file will be complete, then we will load the file, and in case if the file won't be complete, then we won't load the file, and we will insert a record into the audit log that the file is incomplete. Okay, so for that particular thing, what I have done, I have created a SQL Server table audit log here, and it will contain the package name, status like whether the file is complete or file is incomplete, and if the file is complete, then we will have the file path, number of records loaded from the file, and the time when the package was ran. Okay, so as of now this particular table is empty. Okay, so I can go back to this particular SSIS package, and so in case of the file will be incomplete, then what we will do, let me just drag and drop the execute SQL task into the for each loop container, and I will rename this particular script task as check the status of the file. Okay, and this particular task will wait for 1 hour as of now. Okay, and now what I can do, I can just connect this particular task with the execute SQL task, and I will call this one as file is incomplete. Okay, and I will right click and click on edit. From the connection type, I will select the new connection, and we'll make a connection to the test database onto the SQL Server 2019 instance. But because we already have a connection, so I will select this connection and I will click on OK. And now because we will be using the variables inside the insert query, so we will go to the expressions, and in the expressions I will select SQL statement source, and here we can write the insert query. Okay, so I can put a double quote, and I will share this query with you, and I can simply copy this particular insert query from here, I can paste it here and the double quote. Now the package name is package1.dtsx, you can provide your package name here as well, and the status will be like file is incomplete. Okay, incomplete, this will be the status, and the file path we can put like double quote plus plus double quote, and then I can just drag and drop the file path SSIS variable here. The records inserted will be 0 because no data will be inserted, and the get date, it will return the current date time. So I can click on evaluate expression, so this is working fine. Now I can click on OK. OK, OK. Now we won't be directly executing this file is incomplete. Instead we will right click on the precedence constraints, click edit. From the evaluation operation we will select expression and constraints, and in the expression we will write a condition that if the status double equal to, and then we will copy the status value from here, that if the status is file is incomplete. Okay, then click on OK. OK, so if the file will be incomplete, then this task will be executed, If the file will be complete, then we will load the data. So we can just drag and drop the data flow task into the for each loop container, and I can connect the script task with the data flow task, and here we will write another condition. So I can copy this condition from here, double click on the precedence constants, expression and constants, paste the query, and if the value is this one, file is complete, so I can just simply paste it here and I can click on OK. So if the file will be there, then we will load the data from the CSV file. So to load the data from a CSV file, we can use the flat file source here, and I can right click and configure the flat file source. I can click new to create a new flat file connection manager, and I can browse the file. So the file type is CSV, and I can select the file, click open. If I preview the data, so it contains the double quotes, so I need to remove the double quotes, so I can put the double quote inside the text qualifier, and now this is gone, but we got the double quotes in the column name. So what I can do, I can uncheck this one, and now this is gone, and I can again check on this one. So now this is fine. Okay, so I can click on OK, go to the column, so this is working fine, click OK. Now we can insert the data into a SQL Server table. So I can use an OLTP destination here. I can connect the flat file source with the OLTP destination, configure the OLTP destination, click new to create a new SQL Server table, and I can call the table as sellers. Okay, and I can click on OK. I can click on the mapping, so the input columns have been mapped with the destination column, so I can click on OK. So once the data has been inserted to the SQL Server table, so we will again do an entry into the audit log that the file has been loaded. So I can call it as file is complete, and I can just drag and drop it here, and then I can just configure this one. So I can go to the expressions, and in the expressions I will write like file is complete, and this will be the file path, and we will be using the records inserted SSIS variable here. So I can just drag and drop the records inserted here, like how many records got inserted from the flat file. And because the data type of the variable is integer, so we need to typecast it to string. So we can write dt underscore wstr comma 12, and I can click on evaluate expression, click OK, OK. And now there is one important thing, that in the data flow task we need to use the row count transformation so that it can get the number of records loaded. So I can connect the flat file source with the row count transformation, and here I can select the records inserted, click OK, OK. So this is fine. Now our SSIS package is ready to be executed, and this is the file. Okay, so what we will do initially, we will wait for some time. We will actually modify the file, and maybe after one wait or maybe two wait, we can just let the file as it is so that it can load the data from the file. So let me click on start button, and it should start running the SSIS package and wait for the file, whether the file data is changing or not. So it is waiting that whether the data got changed or not. So let me just modify the file. So I added few records here, and it is waiting. So because it is waiting, yeah, so maybe we can again add some more data here. So until unless I will continue modifying the data into the file, it will continue waiting. Okay, and maybe I can add some more records. Okay, and now I finished modifying the file. Now I want further add any record. So what will happen, that now this should load the data. So now you can see that once I finished modifying the file has been loaded, and an entry has been made to the audit log table. So you can check the data in the audit log table, that the file load is complete, and this file got loaded, and it has loaded 1021 records, and this was the time. Okay, and this second task, this task will only be executed if the process will wait for 1 hour, and even after 1 hour, if the file will still be modifying, then it will come out of the loop, and it will insert a record into the audit log that the file is incomplete. So there is one small thing that I missed to add, that we need to make the flat file connection manager dynamic. So we can right click on it, go to the properties, and then from the expressions we can select the connection string property, and we need to assign this value from the file path SSIS variable. Now click on OK. Okay, so that's the only thing. Yeah, so I will share this code with you so that you can use it in your environment, and maybe I can also share the CSV file with you and the create table statement for the sellers table. So I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video then please click the like button, do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.